Good stuff right there, baby. That's what I'm talking about. You know what else is good? This car, man. And this part. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, today is the day we're going to find out if, in fact, the throttle position sensor is going to get this car to idle and run properly. So let's get underneath the hood and let's get it installed and see what happens. So this is how I broke my original sensor. So there's a bracket that was right here on the back side of this bracket for the throttle position sensor, and the arm here, this lever, kept hitting the bracket. As a matter of fact, as soon as I tried to give it the gas, I bent this lever up a little bit. So I just went ahead and took the Dremel, did 2 little cuts right here, and got this bracket out of the way. I mean, this thing feels really, really strong. I don't think, you know, missing that piece is gonna be any kind of issue, but I really just need that thing out of my way so it doesn't interfere with the TPS sensor. All right, it's not idling, it's not staying running, so I'm gonna go through the whole process again of resetting the idle air control valve, and then I'm gonna let it get up to temperature with the idle air control valve disconnected, and I'm gonna set my baseline idle through here. Once I had the baseline set, the idle air control valve should. I don't remember where I left off at. So we're just going to go ahead and revisit all of the steps again. A little bit of a pain in the rear end, but it's got to be done, you know. Okay, so I got the idle set to 750. That's the target idle. I did it with the AC on, because every time I turn on the AC, the idle drops down really low. And I'm not even really sure exactly how this IAC works. I know if it's fully retracted, it's letting all the air into this hole in here. And the only thing it could do is like move forward and slow the RPM down. So, I don't know. I'm not sure how this whole thing works. A little confusing to me. I would think that it would let more air in to bring the idle up, like so you turn on the air. I would think when it's up to temperature it'd be all the way closed. Then you turn on the air, it would open up to give you more idle, but I don't know. I do not really understanding. But I just did what the tuner said. I got the car up to operating temperature. We set the base idle. And like I said, just to be safe, I did it with the AC on. The 750. I figured the IAC could always close and bring the idle down a little bit if need be. What did I do with my tool here? Alright, so now with that set, now we'll start the car with the idle air control valve plugged in. I did the jumper. What he told me to do is put a jumper between on the ALDL, which is the data port under the dash. Told me to put a jumper between ports A and B, turn the ignition off for like 30 seconds, and that should retract the motor all the way in. And the last time I did that, I actually took the IAC out and verified it did do it. So I don't feel like I need to do it again. I know the motor is stepping. So I retracted it all the way in. We set the idle with it retracted all the way in and unplugged. So we have a base mechanical idle. And now the IAC should supplement when needed. Because I know, like the old cars, when you had a choke, it went over the carburetor and it provided less air. So that's how the choke works. So maybe that's what the IAC does. I guess it just gives it less air to give it more fuel, which I don't know, it's fuel injected. It should be able to do more fuel on its own, but to kind of move that IAC bracket a little bit when I tighten that to make sure it's still reading in specs. I'll hook this back up. Alright. Tell you what, man, it's nice data lung with some air conditioning. So far, I had a little bit of a problem getting the car going out of the driveway. It did look like it started to learn. I turned off the AC. It brought the idle up right to 750. Then I turned the AC on. It dropped a little bit down to about 700, and it was maintaining it on its own, actually. And then when I put it in drive, it stumbled a bit. So I'm just gonna drive it, let it get used to everything, and then maybe that'll clear up whatever. Gets a little hesitant. So we'll see. We'll let my tuner look at what the data log's telling him. We'll figure out where to go from there. Still smells really rich on the back end. So there it's kind of hesitating a little bit. But it could just be because the idle's really low. So the IAC is around 80, so that's good. Throttle position's at 0.69, we're at idle. There it's at see right there it's at 1.4, and see how far hard I'm accelerating. So that's what the car thought I was at all the time before. Alright, see how it does. Nope, it ain't gonna do it. Took that little bit there to get to 70. So all I can say, I've driven with this tune in this car before, and it felt a lot smoother. So something with the new throttle position sensor is definitely, I believe, taken into effect or whatever. So, like I said, that's what we had the tuner for. He'll be able to look at what all the sensors are doing, combine everything, and then we'll figure it out from there. And I'll get back to you.
Well, this is great. Rain, rain, rain. Bet even the ducks wouldn't come out in weather like this. But me, I'm an idiot.
Doesn't this just suck? You know, it's not like 2020 hasn't been a horrible year. Now they throw not one, but two hurricanes back to back at us. I don't even know what to say at this point. So, I got the new tune from Brian. I need to take it out in data log to let you know how it's going, but with all this rain, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to wait and hold off. Now, I know the car's not going to melt. It's going to be fine in the rain. But yes, I don't want to get the car dirty. That's one thing. Two, just what if something goes wrong with the tune and the car dies out on the road and now I'm stranded? I really don't want to be stranded out in the rain. Three, I like to have the window down so I can hear if there's any misfires, hear what the car is doing as well. So I can't really do that in the rain. And then four, really critical is to get a couple of short full throttle pulls so Brian, my tuner, can see what the car is doing under full throttle so we're not leaning the car out. Before I go out there and put my foot to the floor and rip through a couple of gears really heavy and end up burning the motor up because we go too lean, I like to go out there and do a couple short all the way to the floor so he can see what the car is doing under full throttle. And I'm really not going to do that in the rain. I don't know how good these tires are. I haven't driven this car in the rain. So, I don't want to be breaking, have this car break traction and something go wrong and then we end up wrecking it. I probably wouldn't wreck it, but I mean, you never know. So, a lot of untried systems in this car, so it's just safer to wait for the rain to stop. Now, that being said, I don't know when it's going to stop. That Hurricane Laura, or whatever it is, I think it's a tropical storm now, that's predicted to be a Category 2, but it's down in Cuba now. This storm, whatever it is making landfall about now, so I might have like a little break midweek, and I can get the car out there and tuned. If that happens, I will, and I'll have a video out for you by Wednesday or Friday. If not, you know, it'll be okay. I got a lot of old stereo equipment I need to sell. I got a lot of stuff I need to sell. I can use some cash in the bank. You know, I wasn't expecting this retirement, so money's a bit tight. I still got to finish the exhaust on here. So, like I said, yeah, I hate saying it 'cause some people complain, but you know, if you do shop on Amazon, go to my store, please. Whatever you buy, get a commission off of what you buy, and it doesn't cost you anything. That's the best part. It doesn't add anything to your cost. If you want to order one of these neon signs, I get a little commission for directing you there, but you save 10% by using that. And these signs are cool, man. I like them. And if you want to make a direct donation, PayPal, whatever, a couple of bucks would be appreciated. You know, I get $15 a month to Epidemic Sound for music to use for the channel, so there's always a cost. And then a free way too, and I know ads suck, but if you didn't skip the ads, if you watch them, you know, I'll get a couple of cents for each ad that you watch. If you skip them, we don't get paid. So that's the way YouTube works. I make the ads skippable, but if you skip them, we don't get anything because you don't watch them. So, man. Tell you what though, at least we are in the home stretch of this car. I mean, we know everything's working. It's not leaking oil anymore. It's not leaking antifreeze. It's running. It's driving. We're just on that fine tune thing right now. I mean, it might just come up to where I just have to disconnect that IAC. We can't figure out what the heck's going on with this thing. Another viewer that we talked to on Facebook, Javarsi, I mentioned him. He's got a different system on his, but he also had, I believe he was telling like similar issues with his IAC. And Ken at First TPI is actually making him a new throttle body because they had like a lot of air bypass. But I mean, my car seems to run fine without the IAC. Now he's up north, he experiences more cold weather than what I get. So to me it's just a minor inconvenience of having to keep my foot on the floor, or not on the floor, on the gas pedal, so it warms up for a minute or so without the IAC. So I always have that option, so I just have to let it warm up, you know, kind of like without a choke. So hopefully we're gonna get that done. We will get it done. We're gonna get the car back on a dyno. We're going to see what kind of power it makes. I'm hoping for at least 300. I would really like to see 350. If this thing hit 350 to the wheels, I'd be ecstatic. I'd be bouncing off the walls. I mean, that would be phenomenal, but I'm not sure. I mean, it's still a low compression engine. I think it's like 8 or 8.5 to 1. You know, I did run the thinner head gasket, so it maybe bumps it up to like 9 to 1. So we'll see how that works. But I mean, we definitely got a lot more air coming in and out with the intake, bigger injectors, the headers, the whole exhaust system. So we're allowing this little engine to breathe now. We'll see what kind of power it's going to put out. So hopefully here before long we'll get her on the dyno and we'll see what kind of power it makes. Alright everyone, so I'll try to get a video out midweek maybe if we get a break in the weather and the roads dry up. If not, you know, I'll see you in a little bit. I got some stuff to sell. So appreciate everyone's support. Like, share, comments. Please subscribe if you haven't. I know this channel's a little bit weird. Maybe some people only want the car content. Some people like to travel. Maybe everybody likes everything because that's what, you know, like Casey Neistat vlogged, but he traveled a lot. I think that's what made his channel really interesting, is his travels. But he's not really a car guy. So I'm kind of like that. I vlog about my life, but I'm a car guy, so there's a lot of car content because I love cars. I love travel, so I love cars, travel, and that, so kind of where we're at, you know. Now we got the RV and camping, and I just want to see this country and other places in the world. Hopefully we open up soon, so cars, coffee, life. Alright everyone, thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll see you in the next one.